My name is Dana Cretu. I am an audit manager in a Phoenix KPMG office. So by a show of hands, I'm not going to make you stand up, but how many of you have children, want children, or think you kind of know what children are about? Perfect. Okay, so 2.5 years ago, my husband and I had a son, and one of my friends said that he has the energy of 3 children, and she had 3 children. And it's very true. But I'm here to share with you, over these past couple of years, I've had kind of the opportunity to think back a little bit and kind of analyze the things that I've learned from him, because it is truly a life-changing experience. So some of the lessons we've learned from him. Lesson number 1 is that the basics are important. If you have children, you know that they refuse to do the basics, like sleeping, eating, hygiene, things like that. They refuse to do things. But you realize if you don't get many of these, that these things are very important. If you don't do the basics right, it's truly very hard to progress in life. So I have some things here: sleeping, exercising, socializing, working. And I know sometimes, especially in busy season, we get more of working than sleeping or eating well, but it's really important to try to get as much of those as possible. So yeah, this is my husband and I after trying to get our son to bed. But there's also some basics in our profession that we try to do well, that are amazingly important, especially with all the regulations that have come out. Honesty, integrity, dedication, independence, responsibility, and accountability are huge pillars of our profession. And we should think back to those basics. They're not as easy to do, right? They're not as basic, but they're truly important to our profession. Lesson number 2 is to be curious. Our son is so curious. We've had to teach him, right, from every little thing that you see around you. We basically have had to teach him what it is. He actually was taking a bath the other day, and he learned that, you know, some things float and some things don't. And it was mind-blowing to him. Like, why does this thing float and why doesn't this thing float? But Albert Einstein said that he doesn't have any special skills. He is just passionately curious. I feel like something happens to us along the way where we stop being curious. We're afraid to ask questions. Just imagine if us as adults still maintain that curiosity and that questioning mind, where would we be from a progress and innovation perspective? Lesson number 3 is to enjoy life. He wakes up with just an amazing willingness to live and to play. And he'll play with the weirdest things. He doesn't necessarily want to play with his toys, but he's going to want to play with the water bottle or the stick. I've carried a stick for like half a mile just because he didn't want me to drop it. But this is him in a bucket. It's our backyard. We don't have a pool, but when life gives you a bucket, make it a pool. So even in our profession, when we get busy, it's important to think about those things that make us enjoy life, and not to forget. I've realized as I become older that how much faster things go, how much faster time goes, and life is short. So try to spend time in those areas where you feel that you're enjoying it and getting some benefit out of it. Lesson 4 is you can have a bad day. As much as the other things are true and we try to enjoy life, you know what? Sometimes you can have a bad day. You can make mistakes, and actually one of my team members knows. I called her on my way here. I'm like, oh, I just sent the wrong email. You can make a mistake, but this is my son right here. I left a chocolate bar in the back, and he was rear-facing, and I didn't know. He was kind of quiet back there, so I was like, what's happening? Sure enough, when I opened the door, that's what happened. But like I said, you can have a bad day, and chances are, people are going to have an even worse day than you somewhere. So you know what? Make a mistake, learn from it, move on, and the next day might be better, might be worse, but. Lesson 5, believe it's possible. Children believe things are possible. If I told my son moon was made out of cheese, he was going to believe it. And again, I think something happens to us as adults where we stop believing that things are possible. Oh, the Places You Go is one of his favorite books by Dr. Seuss. I don't know if you've read it, but this is one of our favorite quotes. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. And now the auditor and me couldn't leave this off. You know, things are possible, things are true. Don't believe it. You know, trust but verify, like the good old, like Reagan said with the Russian proverb. But again, I think things are possible, but again, don't believe everything you hear. I wanted to thank you. Again, basics are important. Be curious. Enjoy life. Thank you.